Okay, hello and welcome to a mussel fishing video. My name's Jake and obviously I run the mussel fishing channel, and it's January, isn't it? So we've probably all set some yearly targets, and my yearly target is to do a weekly video of the sea fishing news around the UK. So I'm going to try my very best to do it every single Sunday. We're going to talk through catch reports, the weather, fishing news, what's going on, that sort of thing, every single week. And we're just going to have a open regarded chat in my fishing studio here. Say studio, it's a pretty old vintage caravan, but we've got a rod building set up here. I've got my podcast studio over there, and we're going to start doing that podcast soon. So I hope you're all really well, and I suppose let's crack on. I've not been out on the boat, to be honest, for a very long time, and I'm sure some of you haven't either. The weather, the wind has been appalling for about 5 months. I am going to have a whinge about it, and I'll try not to whinge anymore after this bit. But yeah, the wind has been damn awful here in the UK. It's been very relentless, loads of storms, and unfortunately a lot of us haven't been able to get out. I've not been able to match my time off of work with the tiny little windows that we have had, so unfortunately I've been doing a bit of shore fishing. Hopefully that is going to change soon. My luck has got to come to an end because I've not been out boat fishing for a rather long time, which is very unlike me, and it's starting to make me go a little bit doolally. But hey ho, hopefully there'll be some windows. So yeah, the weather's not been very good. So touching on that subject then for the news, have you seen the shipping containers which have obviously been arriving on the beaches sort of between Isle of Wight and Hastings over the past few weeks? There's been a lot of containers lost at sea a few weeks back on the Storm. Can't remember its name. I think it began with a G. Lots of containers were lost, and then at the moment they're all starting to arrive on the shore, and as they're hitting the shingle they're breaking up, and bits and bobs are being thrown everywhere. We've had onions on the beach, we've had yogurts, we've had milk, we've had shoes. What else have we had? Sadly, no boats or no fishing gear. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. There's been garlic as well, lots of produce. But the reason why we're getting this cheap stuff is because when they load a shipping container, anything which is cheap value goes on top, because the company have to pay a premium if they want their containers to be at a lower level. The lower level containers never go missing. The top containers are always at higher risk, and that's why if you generally come across a container at sea, normally it's going to contain food and just cheap items, because the shipping companies, with the companies shipping their products, will only pay the shipping companies the lowest amount possible because it's a low nominal product and they go on top basically. So yeah, that's why we end up finding not very exciting stuff. But hey, if you've managed to get out along the south coast this week and find some bits and bobs, good for you. I probably wouldn't be eating the food produce, but if you do, you do. So in this weekly roundup then, we're going to try and cover the whole of the UK, but that is going to be tricky. I'm part of a lot of different Facebook groups from up, down, left, right of the UK, and I'll only come across bits sometimes, and I'll screenshot that throughout the week, and then we'll talk about it and what's being caught. So if you've had a great session, which you want me to include on this video, then send it across on my Mussel Fishing Facebook page and I will include it. This week we're going to focus more on Eastbourne, more on the south coast. So our first port of call, let's start locally to me. We have got Dawn Tide 2, a brand new charter boat, arrived in Eastbourne. Now I think this boat's going to be here for about 6 to 8 weeks. Mark, I think, is the skipper. He can correct me on that if I'm wrong. He'll be doing offshore wrecking. That's all he's down here for, I think. He's got a really nice catamaran, and he's already got some results because he went out a few days ago. That is his boat there. It's quite a nice big catamaran. To me, that looks like, I'd like to say a Blythe, but I'm not too sure. I think a Blythe's a little bit slimmer, but it could be. Yeah, nice big catamaran, nice and safe. And he was out catching a few pollock with his clients and crew only a few days ago. So he's already on the fish. So that's really nice to see. So that is a new charter boat out of Eastbourne. Well, he's not a new charter boat. He's been going in Essex for years and years, I believe. I don't quite know his history, but he's been going a long time anyway. He's a very good skipper, very knowledgeable. So yeah, if you fancy doing a bit of pollocking, getting offshore in a nice big catamaran with a guy who's been doing it for a long time, then have a little look at Mark's page, and that's Dawn Tide 2 Charters, and that is him there. So that is new for locally at Eastbourne. A few of the other boys have been getting out as well. I haven't seen any ladies out, so I'm only saying boys because that's all I've seen. If you're a lady, I apologise. Amputee Angler's got out a few times on the boat with John. They've had some cracking pollock as well, actually. A few doubles as well. They did say they're not loaded, the wrecks. Like, you've still got to put in the work at the moment. You've got to go on a few drifts. You've got to work the wrecks. You've got to move and bounce around. But obviously those guys are off, a long way. But yeah, Amputee Angler, Ben, he's had a few with John and Fu. He's been out twice and had a few pollock. So they are out there. Locally. And locally, to be honest, that's all I've really seen Eastbourne related fishing news and fishing reports. Obviously, I'm going to start keeping my eye out a little bit more sharply now going forward, so I can tell you what's been caught. Something to mention as well for us this week, obviously I'm Sidewinder Pro Team. Adrian, amazing angler, down in, I think he lives in Plymouth Way, I could be corrected. He got out on Crusader Charters. Have a look at these pollock. So this is down west. Now, west is a different gravy, I'm telling you. We have not had a £20 pollock around here locally, from what I know of anyway, for years. 5-6 years. These guys go and have nearly free. I think he had a £20, £21 pounder, and Adrian had £19 pounder. Look at the size of those donkeys on Crusader Charters. Absolutely monsters. Let me show you this one, which I believe was the 20 pounder. There we go. Look at that fish. And that's Crusader Charters down in the West Country. So if you want the really big pollock, they are starting to come now down west. Obviously they are here as well, but this is definitely pollock season now. If you want to get out fishing and you want to catch some proper fish, the only real fishing that we can do in the southeast is pollock fishing, but you need to be getting 20 to 30 mile off for those, really. The boat fishing, it's all about pollock now. It'll be like that until the end of March. So expect these weekly updates to include, hopefully, lots of catch reports on large pollock. Obviously, the pollock guidelines haven't changed yet. We can still take as many as we want as long as we're meeting minimum landing sizes. A couple of other little bits to touch on then. The shore fishing side of things, because we've sort of touched on the boat. The shore fishing has been really difficult, guys. There's a few whiting about, obviously. There's a few dogfish about, but apart from that, I've not seen all that much. Certain things to target at this time of year are the flounder. Down at the River Ada, there's some flounder about at the moment. Cold, crisp days, guys, are what you want for those. I have seen a few catch reports, not loads, but there's been a few from the last 2 or 3 weeks, and numbers should start increasing as we get those cold spells. So keep an eye out for those. Down in the West Sussex area, Dean, I think Dean James is his name. Very good angler, actually. I've seen him pop up quite a lot of times over the last year. He got out on a local session recently. I assume he's West Sussex because that's where he's based. And he had this absolutely lovely £13.4 fawnback ray. And I was only complaining the other week that the fawnback rays are not in. So hopefully he's put up that report. That might inspire me to go this evening and give it a go. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some more rays. I think he said he had another one as well. Let's have a little look. Yeah, followed with a smaller but beautifully marked fawnback ray and a decent conger weighing £9 4 ounces. And a couple of dogfish, obviously. So yeah, well done, Dean. That's a really nice fish, mate. Really nice fish. Nice big double figure fish. Hopefully those fawnback rays now will be arriving. I look back on my own Instagram feed and I can see that I was catching them at the start of February, end of January, start of Feb. So fingers crossed they come in and the beach fishing starts kicking off a little bit more for us. Other little bits, funny this, I saw Angling Trust pop up on my Facebook page feed the other day. Whether you love them or you hate them, they are unfortunately the only representing body for us anglers. And they put up a post about bluefin tuna. Now, they were talking about representation, and they were talking about who they need to basically have to represent the sectors, and obviously they were talking about the private boat sector, and they said along the lines of they need more private boat anglers to come and represent their part, basically, to shape the legislation and whatever. Well, I put a comment. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I put a comment on there because, as you will have known, I have a 3-metre boat, and yeah, here it is. I have a 3-metre boat, and I have caught a bluefin tuna from it with no issues at all. I've got videos of it. I've got it going back safely. You know, it was caught while we were trying for freshers and porgies, but you can't help it down there, honestly. There's so many tuna. I was fishing with Harley in the summer for blue sharks, and a little tuna shoal come through, little small ones, you know, 78 pounders, and zzz, the rod goes off. Luckily it popped off, but you can't help it down there, you just catch them. But I said in my comment, will a man with a 3-metre boat and some experience be able to represent the sub 5-metre boat community? And out of all the comments, I got the most likes. I got 6 likes, and that was on my comment. Obviously they've not replied, so there is a market, I think, for me to be there representing the smaller boats. I think if you've got the experience and you've got the tackle, then why shouldn't we be able to target bluefin tuna next season? It probably won't be next season, it'll probably be the one after, even if they open it up for more boats, but I don't believe they will, unfortunately, which is a shame, because catching them on the polycraft was really good fun, and you can't really help catching them these days because there is simply so many of them. Well, that kind of rounds up the news that I've got for you this week. I'm sure there's been more caught up in the west and the east and the north, but I'm going to specifically now from Sunday onwards to next Sunday be looking at more groups and scrolling through to try and bring you some more news from around the UK and not just locally. But do send in the fishing reports or anything you want me to touch base on these little videos, because they are for you, and they're for you to watch, see what's been caught, and then go out and hopefully catch them yourself or target them yourself. So you let me know in the comments if you're going to enjoy this. If not, I'm going to do them anyway, and yeah, we will see what we can do this year with these little fishing report roundups. Hopefully you enjoy them, and if I come across anything in the week, be sure to catch it next week on Sunday here on Mussel Fishing. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will always do that spiel and I apologise, but we do it. Click the sub button. It is free. It helps out, and put it this way, it inspires me to keep making the videos, because sometimes they can be quite tricky and, and take a lot of time and you don't get much out of them. But yeah, that's it from me. I'm Jake, Mussel Fishing Channel, and this is your news fishing update for January, Sunday the 18th. Cheers.